Imagine you're 18 years old and you've just won $10 million. A 21-year-old gas station attendant won $28 million. One of his earliest purchases? A video game console. While most people dream of supercars and champagne, he bought something he couldn't afford before. A luxury he actually wanted. That was 25 years ago. He's still financially secure today. This is the story of young lottery winners who didn't blow it, and one winner who discovered that money doesn't automatically create happiness. So here's the question. What's the first thing you would buy? Be honest with yourself. Now, let me show you what the smart ones did. In 1999, Tim Schultz was 21 years old, living in his parents' basement, working at a gas station for minimum wage. He bought a lottery ticket. He won $28 million. Suddenly, he went from gas station attendant to financially independent millionaire overnight. He said it felt like holding a magic wand, like he could do anything. But here's what makes Tim different from almost every other lottery winner you've heard about. He didn't go to a dealership. He didn't buy a mansion. Before claiming the prize, he consulted financial professionals and began putting together a team to help manage the money. Before he even claimed the prize, he had a plan. He had people telling him no when he needed to hear it. One of his earliest purchases after winning was a video game console, something he always wanted but could never afford. Over the next 25 years, he invested most of his winnings rather than spending them. He went back to college to study film. He started a podcast about lottery winners. Today, he's still financially secure and often talks about the lessons he learned from winning young. But Tim isn't the only one. Over the next few minutes, you'll meet 4 young people who won life-changing money and kept it, and one who won and lost something far more important than money. Charlie Lagarde turned 18 and did what many teenagers do. She bought a bottle of sparkling wine and a scratch-off lottery ticket. She won $1,000 a week for life. Then she had a choice. Take $1 million right now, or take $1,000 every week for the rest of her life. What would you do? Many people would take the million. Spend it fast. Enjoy it now. Charlie did something different. She talked to a financial advisor. She did the math. At $1,000 a week, she would hit $1 million by age 38. By age 82, the payments would total more than $3 million. She chose the weekly payments. She has spoken publicly about sticking with that decision. She said she wanted to pursue photography and hoped one day to work for National Geographic. She's continued her photography studies. She stayed grounded. Here is a question for you. Would you have taken the million, or would you have done what Charlie did? Then there's Juliette Lamour. Her father told her to buy a lottery ticket, her first ever. She bought a Lotto 649 quick pick and won a 48 million Canadian dollar jackpot. Then she forgot about it in her purse. Days later, she heard that someone from her hometown won the jackpot. She scanned her ticket. The message said, "Big winner." She didn't believe it. She handed the ticket to her boss to check. He scanned it. He was stunned. She was 18 years old. She was a pharmacy assistant. She wanted to become a doctor. What did she do? She stayed in school. Her parents gave her one piece of advice. Money doesn't define you. It's the work you do that will define you. At the time of reporting, she was continuing her studies toward a medical career. She said she planned to save and invest first and travel with her family after school. Would you have stayed in school, or would you have quit the moment you saw the money? And then there's Caleb Heng. His grandmother gave him a scratch-off ticket for his 18th birthday. The ticket was called The Perfect Gift. It lived up to the name. He was in the car with his mom on the way to go fishing. He scratched the ticket. $1 million. We had to pull over, he said. I didn't even have an ID yet. What did he do? He canceled fishing. He went to get an ID. He claimed his prize. And then he did something most teenagers wouldn't. Caleb said he planned to use the money for college and invest the rest for his future. 4 young winners, 4 different stories, one common thread. Most of them sought advice before making major financial decisions. They talked to advisors. They listened to parents. They made plans before they spent a dime. But not every young winner gets it right. On Reddit, a 28-year-old man shared his story. He said he won the lottery when he was barely 18. According to his post, he bought a small house, and then he did nothing for 10 years. He played video games, watched movies, chatted with strangers online, got into a long-distance relationship just to pass the time. He tried going to university, got a law degree, started a master's program, then quit because he just didn't feel like doing it anymore. In his own words, he had never worked a day in his life. He described himself as having no social life, no direction, and few interests outside the house. I feel like winning the lottery was a curse, he wrote. I have no direction, no hobbies, no personality really. I'm lonely, and life feels pointless. His bills were paid. For now, but he knew it wouldn't last forever. He won the lottery and lost something more valuable than money: purpose. Here is a question for you. What would you do with your time if you never had to work again? Would you have a plan, or would you end up like him? That's one difference between people who use money as a tool and people who let money become their entire life. It's not just about the money, it's about what you do with your life after the money arrives. Tim Schultz bought a video game system and then went back to college. Charlie Lagarde chose weekly payments and pursued photography. Juliette Lamour stayed in school to become a doctor. Caleb Heng said he planned to pay for college and invest the rest. The Reddit user, according to his own account, bought a house and then did nothing for a decade. Here's what the smart ones understood that the other didn't. Money is a tool. It's not an identity. Tim Schultz said it best. Money doesn't change who you are. It can buy time, provide opportunities, and alleviate stress. But it doesn't change who you are. The young winners who handled their money well prioritized saving and investing before making major purchases. They didn't stop learning. They didn't stop working towards something. They didn't stop having goals. The Reddit user didn't lose the money. He lost his sense of purpose. And without purpose, money is just numbers in a bank account. So, what can you learn from these young winners? Rule 1. Get help before you spend. Tim Schultz consulted financial professionals before claiming his prize. Charlie talked to an advisor before choosing her payment plan. The Reddit user? According to his post, he figured it out alone. Rule 2. Keep living your life. Juliette stayed in school. Caleb planned to go to college. Tim went back to university. They didn't quit being people. They just had more options. Rule 3. Buy things that matter to you, not things that impress others. Tim bought a video game system, not a Lamborghini. Charlie invested in her photography passion. They spent on their passions, not on status. Rule 4. Invest first, spend later. The winners, who handled their money well, prioritized saving and investing before making major purchases. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, education. things that grow. And rule 5, don't let the money become your identity. The Reddit user said winning the lottery felt like a curse because he had nothing else. The others, they had dreams before the money. They kept them after. Young lottery winners who didn't blow it, they exist. They're not headlines because lottery winner invests wisely, doesn't sell clicks. But they're out there. If you want more real stories about money, wins, fails, and what actually works, subscribe to Money Fails. Because knowing what not to do is useful, but knowing what to do, that's how you stay wealthy. See you in the next one.